What's up, Chaos Kids? We are back. Took a little break, more than an involuntary break. As we all know, life happens, but here we are. Been playing with this team. It's my first team since the new Megas came in, like Staraptor, and you have Mega Swampert, Mega Metagross, and so on and so on. But I saw someone use this composition, not exactly like this, but similar, and I'm like, you know what, let me try it out. The first regulation I did use Venusaur a ton, more as a supportive, but here we have a Mega Venusaur with Sleep Powder, no Protect, but like we really need these three moves, and Sleep Powder can come in handy in some really like tight situations where you need an extra turn or two. Of course, you got the Pelipper and Archaludon core, your standard bulky Archaludon with Electro Shot to start building up. Only 3 in speed, so we have to keep that in mind, that unless we have speed control, the opposing Archaludons are going to hit us. Standard King Gambit with Chople, we have a 4-move King Gambit. I feel like in this team we kind of need it. We do have a Mega Staraptor with, you know, your close combat, Brave Bird, and we have priority quick attack just in case. We do have the mode of Whimsicott Staraptor, like it's been very popular, but we put a spin on it. We do have the standard Tailwind and Moonblast. I see some people run Grass move on Whimsicott for the Swampert, but since I have Venusaur, Moonblast I feel is the better move. I need some fairy coverage. But the secret tech, this is a very bulky Whimsicott, so you have to keep in mind that opposing Whimsicotts can encore us first. So keep that in mind when you're playing this team. However, we have the secret sauce of Worry Seed. Paired up with the Koba Berry, we're not as afraid of those dual wing beats or those hurricanes that could come our way. We can stand in front of a Pelipper, let them hurricane us, and then we can go ahead and do our thing. So it should be fun. We do have, you know, to decide whether we want to Mega the Staraptor or the Venusaur. I found myself in practice leaning on Venusaur a lot more because people lead their fairies thinking that Staraptor will be on lead, and then Sludge Bomb catches them off guard and throws off their whole game. So let's see what we can do. Pelipper, of course, Wide Guard, Tailwind, Hurricane, Weather Ball. What I can say here is that you also want to keep in mind that we don't have a lot of Protect. We only have Protect on our Archaludon and Staraptor, which are our sweepers. Venusaur is a mix. We can use it as a support, and it can also be half a sweeper. It's very bulky, it takes a lot of hits. I could stand in front of Incineroar and I'll take a Flare Blitz just fine as long as it's not in the sun. So yeah, let's get in some games and hopefully we take some W's. What do we have here? So this is like a standard sand team that we had from the very beginning. They clocked in very fast, so I think they're more than likely gonna Earthquake. They got both Garchomp and Excadrill. So what do we want to do here? They're very likely leading the King Gambit, right? So what do we want to do? can go... They do have Sinistra, so we don't know if they're gonna go the Trick Room route. Man, Staraptor goes in real hard here though. What do you think? What we can do, lead Staraptor. We can do Arch and Pelipper. We need weather control. I'm leaving Venusaur. We can easily get Earthquake spammed here. Yep. So we get double Intimidate. I feel good. What do we do? We don't have Protect, and Iron Head will knock us out. They're not going to Earthquake here, I don't think. So we can get our Tailwind up, we're gonna preserve our Intimidate for another cycle, right? And if they do something like I don't know, Rock Slide, it's not gonna hurt the Arch. Yeah. So hopefully we get some stamina boosts up, that way the Earthquake is not so bad. Double Rock Slide, so now we're +2 defense. Very good. They are very likely to protect. So what do we want to do from here? We could Encore the Excadrill into Rock Slide. And we could just start Flash Cannon, Dragon Pulse. I want to break the Sash on Excadrill. Yeah, I kind of figured Tyranitar would play defensive here. So now you only have Rock Slide. You're gonna make me +3 defense. Awesome. We broke their Sash. Here, I don't want to swap in the Pelipper because they can call that and they can go Mega Tyranitar, overriding the rain. So what I'm okay doing here is Moonblast and Flash Cannon double up into the Tyranitar. Also remember, see, that's what I was talking about. I called that. They're expecting the Pelipper switch in for Electroshock. They stayed in, they're trying to get the flinch, right? But I have another stamina boost now. Alright, that's good damage. Alright, no flinches, very good. Low kick, yeah, but now I'm already +4. You're making me +6. And what we can do is bring in the bird. We're gonna double intimidate them again. And we can start building up more damage on Excadrill because he can protect. Excadrill is Encored, so they're not gonna protect. The extra damage is nice, and in case of a swap. In addition, if Tyranitar protects, I can Mega Staraptor next turn and close combat and start building up my momentum there. We get to preserve our Whimsicott. You saw that how many attacks it took with... Okay, they swap out, but we're okay with that. Yeah, we're okay with that. We flinched, which was bound to happen. They were fishing for... Yeah, they were fishing for it. Okay, so what we want to do here, because Excadrill can... they're gonna try to EQ, probably. Is it worth Mega-ing now? I feel like we can start building up, or we can let the rain come in, but they can also switch T-Tar in, so that's fine. If they swap back in, good for them. But I want to preserve my Intimidate. Did they swap? No. Oh, that's a good miss. That's a good miss. That's a good miss. I'll take it. I'll take it. Okay, and we get the Electro Shot. I want to say they're incentivized to bring the T-Tar back in now. There you go. Corviknight is gone. Goodbye. We're back to full health. Archaludon is a monster, even with the nerf. Okay? You get your sand back up, but I can get an Intimidate? There's no way that... Well, let's not risk a crit here. They can always KO my Staraptor on the way in, but that gives me a free switch so I can Tailwind with Whimsicott. It doesn't look like they protected. Okay, we caught the Tyranitar on the protect. Earthquake, perfect. Perfect. That was a beautiful turn. What we want to do now is bring in the Pelipper, Electro Shot, the Tyranitar. Our Archaludon is looking great. Rock Slide again, that's okay. Look at that damage. Nothing. Our defense is maxed out and no flinch, so there we go. We locked in the Excadrill with negative like 3 or 4. I lost count. By Tyranitar, we keep the weather control. Archaludon is maxed out in defense. We don't know who the other Pokemon is, but it doesn't matter. Garchomp. Okay, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Let's bring in Staraptor, get an Intimidate, and we can Dragon Pulse here. Another Intimidate cycle. Yeah, you can take the bird, that's fine. Double rock slide? Yeah, they're just going for the flinch, which is fine. But I get to tailwind up now. So Mega Staraptor, just Intimidate bot. A Bonberry, very nice. Very nice. They survived on 4. Very, very nice. So now, bring in Whimsicott, we get speed control. Tailwind. How about we Dragon Pulse? Yeah, we don't have anything super effective for the Excadrill, but let's tap it here. Yeah. We get the Tailwind, we get the Dragon Pulse. Look at that. They're both in range of Pelipper and Archaludon. I didn't want to say it, but unless they crit, there's no way they were going to do much of any damage here. Plus 6 defense. We are good. Now we can just Moonblast, Dragon Pulse, lock it in, GG's. There we go. Beautiful. Mega Staraptor came to the game, but it did what it needed to do. Okay, we are up against Anthony versus a very familiar face here. We face Swampert a lot. This is like a really nice core, and obviously they have recovery with Sinistcha. They got the Sylveon, the Sneasler. What we want to do in this regard, they don't have Intimidate, but we can do King Gambit and Venusaur because this is going to pressure the Sinistcha lead, and we can always bait the close combat from Sneasler, make them choose what they want to do. Pelipper is, worrisome, but we can have Arch in the back. Do we want our own Pelipper, given that they have their Pelipper? I don't want to bring it, because I feel like they need rain. Without the rain, their Swampert, it's slow. However, our speed control can be set by Whimsicott. Let's do that. Not a Staraptor game, honestly. Good luck, have fun, Anthony. Yeah, they lead Swampert and Pelipper off the rip. So this is very like a hurricane plus earthquake, which is not good. I cannot risk an earthquake on Archaludon here, so I feel like Sucker Punch, or they can play very defensive, you know? We can do Sucker Punch, Mega Sleep Powder the Pelipper. If we put the Pelipper to sleep, because we are faster, then we don't have to eat that hurricane. Alright, so we need to make sure that we don't miss. And if the Swampert protects, which I don't think it will protect, the following turn we can just Giga Drain it. they protect because they want to get rid of the Venusaur. So Sucker Punch fails. That's okay. Sleep Powder lands. Alright, we're looking good. So now, what do we want to do? Because they can still Wave Crash. They can still Earthquake too. But I can bring in Whimsicott here. It's pretty safe. Do we rip the Giga Drain? I don't think they'll stay in though. So who do they have that can resist a Giga Drain? Maybe their own Archaludon? So how about, let's call them out, do a Earth Power here. I have a feeling it's a Archaludon swap. Or they don't? Are they seriously staying in? Wow, that's brave. Yeah, that's brave. Okay, so we're not afraid of the Hurricane. I do think we're still good here. So Worry Seed will take away the Swift Swim, and I believe I'm faster. I should be, unless they're max speed. Okay, Protect. They're trying to get the Pelipper to wake up, which is fair. That's very, very fair. It does wake up, and it hurricanes the Venusaur. Okay, good job. Very good job. But now, we can start stacking our Encore here, and Electroshot here. Start boosting. Perfect. Yep. Cobble Berry. This should not kill us still. Come on. Yep. Bulky Whimsicott for the win. Okay, now. Next turn we need to set our Tailwind up. Sash Pelipper, that's fine. How many turns of rain do we have? 1. So you're either going to attempt to KO the Whimsicott, or you're gonna protect. And Swampert is a non-factor here. You have to double swap to preserve your rain core. Yep, exactly. That's fine. I get a +2 and I get to double up into it next turn. They need their rain up, right? So... Wow! That did a lot of damage. Rain stops. Okay. They are Encore. Last turn of Encore. So, what I want to do here is Moonblast and Dragon Pulse. The only issue would be if they have Sylveon, but would you really switch Sylveon here? Sinistra. Okay, that's fair. Okay, yep, that's perfect. I can Encore you the next turn. You cannot Rage Powder the Whimsicott. Lost 2 Dragon Pulse. Goodbye. Pelipper, that was the wrong order. You bring in Swampert, you get to switch out Archaludon so you don't get Protect Encore, and yeah, so that was the wrong order, my friend. I can Encore here just to respect that, and we can Dragon Pulse this slot in case they do Swampert Swamp. Swamp, Swamp, Swamp. They do not. So our friend here does not believe in switching out. Good for you, my friend. Now you're locked in on Protect. Very good. How many Tailwind turns do we have? We want to keep in mind that we need to preserve our Tailwind. The last turn. So, we can Worry Seed here to take away the Swift Swing. And Dragon Pulse. Because Archaludon will protect, guaranteed. Yep. And next turn we can target the Archaludon. You're no longer fast. That's gonna be a lot of damage. Yep. Earthquake. I hope it doesn't take us out. Come on, Arch. Yes! Very good. Very, very good. So we only have a limited amount of Encore turns left, but they forfeit. So GG's. We cornered them. There was still a way out for them, to be honest, but we cornered them. That's it. GG's. Alright, here we go. Another sand team. However, this one has Houndstone. Our previous friend with sand had Garchomp. I do like the Rotom Wash better on his team. However, it doesn't do very good against Venusaur here. What do we want to do? I do like what we did last time with Staraptor. However, I don't think I want to proc the Sneasler. So what do we do here? 100% we want to bring Pelipper for weather control. I don't see King Gambit being very good. However, the reason I want to bring it is low kick is very good here into the Houndstone. Okay. So, how about we do Whimsy, Venu, Arch, and Pelipper? What will they lead? Houndstone, okay. That is very likely a Will-O-Wisp Rotom, possibly Screams. So here, I don't feel bad Tailwinding. Water and Electric don't do very good against us. And I feel like the Houndstone is also pretty bad spot. I almost want to Earth Power the Houndstone in case they swap something in. Let's do that. They don't swap. Okay. They're not afraid, huh? I am not familiar with what kind of sets they want, but Protect was not the right move, my friend. Not in front of Whimsicott. Why do you Protect in front of Whimsicott? You gotta respect the Encore. Yeah. Or, but like, what does that get you? I can encore their roar too, to be honest. And we don't want to electroshock or bring in Pelipper or anything like that. Let's go ahead and do more damage on the Houndstone. And they do not respect the encore. Alright, let's skip it. Are you gonna roar me again? Mulch, you guys. Okay, they want damage on Whimsicott. That's a lot of damage, not gonna lie. And they forfeit because they realized they were in a very bad spot. GG's. Going up against Sand one more time. So I guess Sand is the popular thing now. And once more, a Rotom Wash, which is very likely to lead because of the Staraptor bait. We do want Whim, and I think Venusaur. Or we can go King Gambit and Venusaur. King Gambit gives us a good lead against Sinistcha. It also takes care of the Metagross. And then we can do Arch and Pelipper. No Whimsicott this set. Yeah, I think Whimsicott's a bad option here because there's triple steel types. So let's do it this way. There is an argument for using Staraptor here, but Clear Body on Metagross and Mirror Armor on the Corviknight. I think Arch will do much better, especially if we get some stamina boosts. Corviknight, Rotom, yeah. So what are they gonna do here? We are pretty safe, I think, to bring in our stamina. And we can sleep powder here. We want a sleep powder to buy us a turn to prevent the tailwind from going up. And hopefully they hit us one time with the move so we can get stamina boosts going. Okay, we hit our sleep powder, step 1. Willow, okay, sure. Great job. So what we can do now, do I want to electroshock here? I don't. What we can do is double the Rotom. They have their sand in the back, so we don't want to risk Volt Switch or something dumb like that on our Pelipper. Okay, they swap. Tyranitar, yeah. So they were calling the swap probably. Double swap! So they brought Metagross. Okay, good to know. We did the drain in the right spot. Look at that. That's beautiful. What we want to do here, we need to preserve our Archaludon. They can still Mega, right? So what we can do, they're very likely to protect the Tyranitar. I want to Sleep Powder the Metagross, to be honest, because if I Earth Power and they swap one of the Backmons in, then it's just no hit at all. Okay? They want to preserve, or maybe expecting an Earth Power, I don't know. They could very easily Earthquake here since they swapped to Rotom. But we want to protect. Yep, exactly. Who's faster? Ice Punch. You can't freeze me, I'm already burned. And we land the Sleep Powder. Perfect. Okay. Do we think their Rotom has Protect? So who do they have in the back? They have Tyranitar. They have a sleeping Corviknight. You know what? Let's start boosting. Let's start boosting. Let's Giga Drain here. Get some healing up. Alright. Look at that. Yum yum yum. It's citrus, but one more Giga Drain will do it. We're gonna start boosting. They can protect, they can swap. All four of the mons they brought, they're susceptible for Electroshock. And Will-O-Wisping me, it makes no difference. You're hitting me with a special move. Also, even if they Earthquake here, they could swap out into Corviknight, which is fair. Yeah, I thought about that. But it's okay. We're +1. Look at that. So, the only issue here is that my leftovers are neutralized. They really are. I want to say that he's in range of that. Do I? I can Electroshot again into Corviknight. And, I mean, if they catch me on the Earth Power, fine. But they either get nuked, I will survive an Ice Punch, and I will survive an Earthquake. It wakes up, Psychic Fang. Alright, good job. are gonna force a swap. We are already charged up. So, King Gambit is gonna... You're in range of a sucker punch here, but we can also kowtow. I think a double up is fine. They can protect. Let's start getting damage on Corviknight. Yeah, I figured they would. Alright. Bye, Corviknight. Because Sucker Punch is threatening them. And now we get a double kill. Or I thought we got a double kill. I want to say they're going to try to will-o-wisp the King Gambit, right? I don't care if you Mega and you take away my range. Flash Cannon will still get the T-Tar. And you can will-o-wisp the Pelipper, but I need King Gambit for the metagame. So I'm okay losing weather control here. Cassandra Rain Arch is fine. What did you do? Locate. Look at that. King Gambit was too juicy to ignore. So they lost their Tyranitar. We lost in range. Pain split. Oh god. Never saw pain split before. And they forfeit because they realize King Gambit in the back. Like, you're screwed. GG's. Alright, so we went undefeated. Awesome run. It looks like the ranked ladder right now is full of sand teams for some reason. As of yesterday and before, honestly, I was seeing a lot of rain teams. I don't know what the shift is. There's a ton of sand, Tyranitar, Corviknight, core. Which is fine. We have the tools to go up against any core. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. I hope you had a lot of fun. Venu is that guy, as you can see, rocked it. We didn't get to bring the Staraptor except for one game, which is fine. Given that, you know, there's a ton of Staraptor-centric teams, which this one is not. I assume people see the Whimsicott Staraptor and automatically want to counter those versus what we have here, which our Whimsicott does not do anything for Staraptor. There's no charm, there's no tickle, we don't have any parting shot mons, no Grimmsnarl, Scream, Sinistra. However, it's the illusion. You can still use Staraptor, you know, Intimidate is really good. The close combat's still really good. Venusaur was the star. And let's not forget, Archaludon always, you know, where there's rain, there's an electro shot. And where there's an electro shot, there's no Corviknight. So, yeah, we had, you know, a lot of fun. If you want to try it out, the team ID is on there. I will have it in the description as well. Don't forget to follow, don't forget to comment, and hopefully we see you again. I'll definitely do more uploads as we go, and yeah, see you guys more.